I always wonder what makes guys not just stick with their own kind when they reach this certain level of success. They really go for something completely different. And it always just baffles me. And it always makes me question, what is it about the women that you were with? What is it about the baby mothers that you had? And why you couldn't make that work? Hey Fems, and welcome back to another episode of Femininity by Rachel V. I am your host, Rachel V. And I just want to say, just before I get started, thank you to all the listeners, all the new subscribers to the channel. I see it. It is growing at a rapid rate, and I'm so excited about that. So I just want to say thank you to everyone that have, been enjoying the content, have been leaving comments and just, liking the videos, because that really helps grow and promote the channel. So ladies, today I want to talk about dating. But not just regular dating. I want to talk about dating after a long-term relationship, dating after a divorce. I've been seeing so many couples breaking up, and it ain't what you think out here, but it can be fun and it can be enjoyable, but it is a little challenging nowadays, right? So I know everyone has seen, Jeannie Mai and Jeezy break up, right? And they're talking about getting a divorce or whatever. I've been following the stories. I've been looking at the stories. I've been trying my best to keep up. I see one thing and then I see another thing. But I think ultimately what it comes down to it is, culturally, we really do have to be aligned, right? I hear a lot of me and my friends joke about this, right? I happen to love my black men. I do. I do see, different cultures, and I'm like, ooh, but just for me, because of, I've been around that all my life, and honestly, I think it would be challenging for me to do something different, but I'm open to it. It's really whatever. But for them, I think not even just her. I just think that she has been brought up a certain kind of way, and he has been brought up a certain kind of way. We all know that Jeezy is from the streets, right? And it seems to me like he doesn't want to remind himself of anything hostile, anything that's gonna trigger him to remember those kind of ways that he used to have. And, from just looking at things from the media, it seems like Jeannie Mai has a bit of a anger problem, and her mother can be a little much, in my personal opinion. I think mothers are great, but I do think that she is a bit of a character. And from my understanding, I heard that they were, all living in the same roof. So I can see why Jeezy won't want something a little bit more different, or he thought he was getting something different. And then, he really wasn't getting anything that different than what he was dating. But I always wonder what makes guys not just stick with their own kind when they reach this certain level of success. They really go for something completely different. And it always just baffles me. And it always makes me question, what is it about the women that you were with? What is it about the baby mothers that you had? And why you couldn't make that work? Now, I will say, Jeannie is beautiful. Jeannie is of a different world. She's seems very well connected. He's well connected too. But I think it was like a bridge to a different world for him and a different world for her. Because let's be honest, I'm going to say it right. Jeannie was a little country. When she got with Jeezy, she definitely upgraded her style, her look. It's given a little bit more, I want to say, polished urban. Her look looks really good. Like he gave her some flavor. And, she probably connected him to different, things as far as like business. And she opened up a whole nother world for him. So maybe it worked for a little while for that aspect of things. But I don't know. It just seems like culturally it's just very different. The other relationship, Tiara and Corey. I don't really know, right? I always looked at them like they were just the sweetest couple. I thought what they had really worked, but also I do know that Tiara, I hope I'm saying her name right. I do know that the twin works, she's been consistent as far as her career goes and, really pushing out work. Like she's really been making it work. Her husband, on the other hand, I don't see him do that many projects. I don't see him work that much. So if that is the reason, I can see why that would be a lot for her and why she would probably, fall out of love, with someone like that. As being a ambitious woman and someone that is constantly working on something and doing things, I need someone that is constantly reinventing themselves, constantly figuring it out, constantly just doing their shit. I love that, and that is attractive to me. But also you lose a little element of the father being home in the house, helping with the kids, all of those things. So I guess it just matters like what you are looking for. But I will say this. Tiara, baby girl, if you thought you was going to get out here and find you another Corey, honey, they don't call special someone special for no reason at all, right? I wonder, like, if we really think about that. Everybody wants that special someone. Everyone wants that special connection. But really, when you think about it, special is kind of hard to find. It is really hard to find. And, in my experience with this dating game, currently I'm not dating, but I'm going to tell you something. It is a really tricky thing because you can have all the checks. You can have all the checks that you want, but then you got to deal with the mental health piece. You got to deal with the damaged pieces. You got to deal with, if someone is afraid of certain things. It's just really wild. It's a lot to really take on. And I will say this to anybody that has been in a long-term relationship, anybody that's just getting out of divorce, anyone that's just getting out of, a relationship where you live with someone or you've been with this person a really long time, like out of high school. Do not jump right into a relationship. And I'm going to tell you why, right? A lot of times when we get out of these relationships, we just want to be happy. And I don't know about you guys. I was unhappy in my marriage for at least 5 years before I decided to leave. And, obviously, you want to make it work. You want to work it out. You want to work it out for the kids. You don't want to disrupt what you are comfortable with. But what are you going to do? Right? Are you going to stay to make someone else happy, to make your kids happy? Or are you going to protect your mental health as much as possible? Right? So that's what I decided to do. Right? And I don't want to make this about me because I talk about this all the time. Right? But I only talk about it because I'm experienced in it. When I got out of my divorce, I dated 2 people. One was a really good friend. We're still friends to this day. The other one turned into a relationship. And ooh, it was great. We were really good friends. We were amazing. But when I think back on it, you know, we were there for each other at a really, really hard time in both of each other's lives. He was going through something at the time. I was going through something at the time. I guess you can kind of say it was a trauma bond. I don't know. But what I will say is when I think back on like getting in something, I wasn't even like 2 years out of, you know, being separated and all of that. And it did feel really, really good because depending on whatever situation you're in, if you're with someone that's a narcissist, because we can talk about it. If you're with someone that's a narcissist, if you're with someone that's financially abusive, if you're with someone that's mentally abusive, if you're with someone that is verbally abusive, if you went with someone that is emotionally abusive, getting in a relationship with someone that does not have any of those things, it is, I can see why that would be amazing. And that was the situation for me. But also, I just felt like I needed that time alone, and really I needed to burn in that, right? I spent a couple of years, maybe like a year and a half, where I burnt in that, but I don't think that was long enough, because that courting part, and I heard Tiara say that, she was like, the courting part is what she's missing, right? And I will say I haven't had a problem with that, but I can see why that would be lost in our time, in our society right now. I can see why that is a problem. But I don't want anybody to think, oh, I'm going to get out of this marriage and I'm about to get my Stella got her groove back. It is not going to be that simple. When I say you have to, it's imperative. Me and my friends talk about this all the time. Healing and being selfish with yourself is the best thing ever. It's the best thing ever. I remember getting my place, you know, just me and my kids. I didn't have to cook, suck, have sex. I didn't have to do any of that. And I swear it was the most freeing thing ever that I've experienced in my life at that time. And I loved it. I didn't have to, you know, consider anybody. And I don't think that is wrong. I don't think that is selfish. I think that it was needed at that time. So now I'm going through that again, right? I don't have to consider. I don't have to think about anybody. I don't have to check in. I don't have to do any of those things. And when I say it is not bad at all, it is not bad at all. All I have to do is focus on what I want, my goals, my money, what I want to do the next day. You know, it is great. And ladies, when I say it is not bad, it's not bad. I'm not saying that it's bad guys out there. I'm not saying that at all. There's really some amazing guys out there. But what I am saying is I don't want anyone to get out here and think that you're going to just magically be in another relationship. I was watching Nene's podcast. I didn't even know that she had a podcast, but I was watching Nene's podcast. Well, is it a podcast? No, she has a YouTube. And she was saying the guy that she was dating. And I was just thinking to myself, she was with Greg for so long. And she really needed to probably like feel everything that she needed to feel, that pain, because she that was a long relationship with her. I think they was together for like 20 something years. Don't quote me. I don't know. But they was together for a long time. And I can see her getting wrapped up, and she had someone that she can be, on social media with, and she could be taking pictures, and paparazzi was kind of like snapping them, and they look really good together. And, he had a good look. He was young, and, he could dress really nice, and, they did compliment each other, but something just looked off about it. So a lot of times, like, we are so vulnerable when it comes to like getting out of these long-term relationships, that the first thing that comes along with kind of like, yes, this is what I've been missing. When really you probably should have just been having a good little time, going home, not labeling it as a relationship. And, I was listening to her and she was saying like, she was saying the guy was a narcissist. I can totally see that the guy was a narcissist. I think that he was using her likeness to get on, because that's out here a lot, right? Sometimes people want to use your likeness to get on, to, feel, whatever they have planned. Basically they have plans for you before you even know about it. And by the time you realize it, they didn't made a fool of you, So if you've been in a long-term relationship, my advice would be to just really focus on yourself. I'm not saying don't go out on dates. I'm not saying don't give nobody none. I'm not saying that. Because we are human, we want to feel human. All of these things are natural. But I am saying don't rush to attach yourself to someone, because, you really are going through a stage where you are relearning yourself. You are learning what you like again. You separate from this person and you guys become one, and now you separate and you decide to break up or whatever, you call it. You really have to learn what you like again. You have to repair some things. Like if you were broke down mentally, you got to repair some things. You got to get some counseling. I talk about this all the time. You guys know I'm an advocate for this, right? Just coming up with a new routine. Like your routine probably was different when you were living with someone, or when you were in a relationship with someone, or married to someone. You really have to figure out what it is that you want to do. So one thing I will suggest is get hobbies. Girls, when I say getting a hobby and really connecting with your friends. I have so many friends that call me and they talk to me. They want to talk to me about relationship advice, because Lord knows, I've been through it. I would say I'm kind of expert in all of this, right? And my girlfriends call me with these stories, and I'm just like, what in the world is happening with these men? Not even just the men, because it's the women too. But what in the absolute hell is going on? My girlfriend was telling me about a situation. She met someone on a app, right? I'm totally against apps. Like Instagram, yeah, that's an app too. But the actual apps where it's like singles trying to meet singles, I'm gonna tell you, the best way to meet people, you have to get outside. Them apps are bullshit, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because guys, and I'm not even just gonna say guys, I'm gonna say people can hide behind those apps and create a whole another person that's not even really there. They can really hide behind another character, right? It literally takes about 4 months for you really to know somebody. Like for you to get down to the nitty gritty of their ways, if they're a good person, if they got mental issues, if they got, mommy issues, daddy issues, money issues, child support issues, all of that shit. It takes about 4-5 months to really get down to the nitty gritty. Then it takes about really 9 months to let you know if you can really tackle this person, right? So those apps, I don't agree with them. But anyway, I'm gonna tell you guys the story anyway. My girlfriend, heartbroken, right? She didn't know what love bombing was. I had to explain it to her. Now, let me tell y'all something, right? Bombing can be really good if you know what it is. Okay, so let me explain what love bombing is, because there's a couple of ways you can love bomb a person, right? But it's the enjoyable kind, It's the mind fuck kind, and it's the get you trapped kind. So, okay, let me explain what love bombing is. I feel like I talked about this before, but I don't mind talking about it again because I care about you, girl. Ultimately, to keep things short, love bombing is a way to manipulate you so the person that is doing the love bombing can get to the finish line. And that can look like this, right? I'm going to explain to you guys what this can look like. It could look like someone calling you every day, same time, consistently, and making you feel extremely comfortable so that you can let your guard down and your defenses down. They'll do things like give you words of affirmations. They'll do things like they'll say words of endearment. And let me tell you something. I love words of endearment. But I like that shit from someone I really like. That right there scares me off. Anyway, I don't want to get off topic. But it could be things like that. It could be gifts. It can be trips. It could be all of these things really, really fast. Not just so they can sleep with you, but to get you hooked. And then from that point, they can get you hooked where they'll just go away out of nowhere. Or they'll get you hooked where they'll stay they'll make it into a relationship. And you somewhere like, what in the hell? And these things just unravel. You start seeing the bad credit. You start seeing the lies. You start seeing the inconsistency. You start seeing like, what the hell is going on? I should have ran. And don't let one of these people put a baby in you. You really fucked up. I just gotta be honest. I gotta be honest. It's just kind of funny. So anyway, when I say the love bombing could be good, if you already know off break what this is, because remember what I told you was even though you get out of a relationship, you can have a little bit of fun. So say someone want to take you on like a trip and they want to buy you stuff and they want to, do things for you, but in the back of your mind, this is not going to last. So you still have your defenses up. You still are on guard. You still say to yourself, look, this is not long term. This is something I'm just playing with. This we playing with each other kind of thing. That's the only time love bombing is okay. That's the only time it's acceptable. But then you have guys out here that love, and I'm not even just going to say guys. Women are like this too. You have people out here that love someone to chase them. So what they do is they show you all of these wonderful and amazing things in the beginning. They're texting you, they're calling you, they're asking if you want lunch. They like, baby, do you need anything? You need a few dollars. How much is this? What's this? And then all of a sudden, it normally takes about 2 to 4 months for the inconsistencies to show up. And then you're like, why did they pull away? Mentally, you're hooked. It's a really messed up tactic. But if you see the signs and you know the signs, you'll be able to navigate through this dating thing. And then you have some that are just avoidance and they don't necessarily like a person to like them as much as as much as you like them. They like it the other way around. They want to obsess over you, but they don't want you to obsess over them. And then they pull away too. So you have a lot of things that is going on out here in this dating whirlpool. So I just want you ladies to be careful with me because this is definitely a trip. And when I heard Tiara say that, she missed the courting part, I was like, girl, what did you expect? You're looking for someone special. And finding someone special, it takes time. Like it really can happen, but it really does take time. Like slow love is the best love. And let's face it, it takes us a minute to really get into somebody. It takes us a minute. Let's think about a job, right? Or when you start a business. Hold on. When you start a new job, it takes you a minute to like get into like the gritty of things, like learning all of the people, learning who talks the most crap, learning who is the shit starter, learning who is the person that everyone steps over, no boundaries, and just learning everything. When everybody takes a lunch break, who's stealing on a job, things like that, right? Because stuff happens, right? Who's the snatch at the job? Who is, the pets, the boss pet, all of these things. It takes time to learn all of these things. Why is love any different? It is not different. It takes a minute. And, we often use this term falling in love. I don't necessarily believe in that. I believe you grow in love with people. I believe that, we build a certain tolerance for the things that we can tolerate. And, that's just what it is. And when everything feels like so good to be true, 9 times out of 10, it really is too good to be true. And too good to be trues aren't always going to last. It is not. So that is my piece on dating out here. Now, I do want to give you girls some tips, right? On dating. A lot of women always say that they want high value, right? I hear that. That word is thrown all around social media, right? High value, high value, high value. Okay, let's get into this high value thing, right? Okay. If you want high value, where do you see yourself? Let's really talk about this. Where do you see yourself as a woman? As a woman, do you see yourself as someone that has all her ducks in a row? You're attractive. You are taking care of yourself mentally, physically, emotionally, financially. Where do you see yourself? Do you see yourself as a high value woman? That's the first thing. Honestly, like think about it from a scale from 1 to 10. Where do you see yourself? Now, if you are a level 5, you have some work to do. Any woman can upgrade herself. Any woman, right? And if you know in your heart that you want a certain man, you have to work on yourself. I talk about this all the time. You have to work on yourself. If you are not happy with your finances, if you're not happy with your appearance, if you're not happy with your mental, if you're breaking down every 5 minutes, are you getting upset every 5 minutes? Are you super fragile? Work on yourself, because you can have anybody that you want. But you have to be a 360-degree woman to start. You have to embody the qualities that you want in another person. You have to have those same qualities. Because I'm going to tell you something. These men out here that we consider to be high value, they can pick up on it. They going to know it. Like, they don't want you begging for money every 5 minutes, you know what I mean, for basic things. They're going to be able to look and say, okay, I can see where I can add to this person. They're not going to want someone that is just dumping all of their traumas on them while they're on a date or while you're in their company. They don't want that. I don't like when my friends do that. Like, so you got to be mindful of these things. Do you need to get a counselor? Because when you're dating a guy and you're telling him about my baby father, my ex-boyfriend, he did this to me, he did that to me, I guarantee you it is a turn off to that man. Trust me. Think about that. Think about your finances. Are you in a need of help? If you're in need of help, maybe you shouldn't be dating. I mean, a high value man, they don't want another child. They don't mind picking up pieces, but they don't want another child. And certain things like your basic needs, you really should have those things in order. So if we're talking about finding a high value man, we got to start within ourselves. We consider ourselves to be high value women? Okay, and when you're done with that phase and you have upgraded yourself, because I believe in upgrading, I believe in self-development, I believe in, reinventation. We just talked about that on our last podcast. I believe in all of those things. And let me tell you something, baby girls. It is more than a look. It is more than getting your eyebrows done. It is more than getting filler. It is more than getting your teeth done. It is more than getting your breast lift. It is more than getting lipo. It is more than getting a BBL. It is more than getting a weave. It is more to it than that. High value women, it starts with your mental. It starts with your mental. If your mental is not right, I'm going to tell you right now, you are not going to attract that partner that you desire. You have to work on your mental. So I want to tell you guys a couple of ways that you can find that person that you so desire. I was talking to one of the girls that work across from me. She's such a beautiful girl. She's so pretty. And she was telling me, Rachel, I want to get married. I want to have a baby. I want to find my person. And I was asking her, well, what are you doing to find that person? When I see her on social media, I see her going out a lot. I see her like hanging out a lot. High value guys are not in clubs, ladies. They're not at clubs. They're not at the bar. They are not, at these events like these, at the All-Stars and stuff like that. Those are different kind of guys. We call those guys trick kind of guys. You don't want them kind of guys. They the love bombers that we talked about. Y'all don't want them. I'm going to tell you where to find them. You go to places like the Ritz-Carlton, the Four Seasons, and you go have lunch and you go sit down by yourself. You go with a nice little white button up, slightly button. You look really presentable and beautiful. You don't have on the tightest of tight. Your makeup is really simple. You have lip gloss on. Your nails are really nice. You look simple and neat. There is where you will find a high value guy. Believe it or not, high value men love simple. They love approachable. They love women that have really good energy. They love women that smile. They love women that are pleasant. They can pick up on like desperate energy. So you don't want to feel like that. You want to feel so comfortable in your skin. And you always want to be by yourself because you don't want to take your girlfriend with you. That's going to be competition. So you want to go somewhere where it is like a 5-star type of place, 4-star, 5-star type of place where it's in the daytime before 4 o'clock. You want to go somewhere like that, or you want to go somewhere like a car show, or you want to Google events in your area. Men that are into IT, men that are into the government, diplomats, people that deal with certain caliber of other people. These are the type of people you want to go after. Don't say that I didn't tell you guys anything or teach you guys anything, because that's why we're here. So, ladies, I have to go because I have a date with my girlfriend Tavian tonight. So I want to thank everyone for joining the podcast once again. I love you all. If you are enjoying the content and you love my podcast, please make sure you like and subscribe. Share it with a friend of a friend of a friend of an aunt, of a grandmother, of a cousin. Anyone that you think that this content, this podcast will be useful for, please make sure you share. Also, make sure that you comment, please. I love the comments. I read the comments. Also, I have on my original Femininity set. I'm going to stand up for you ladies to see it. You can get all of Femininity merchandise on femininitybyrachelv.com. I have so many new things coming out. Also, I wanted to talk about my happy hour. So I do this happy hour in Baltimore at my salon. It's called Catch a Vibe. Oh my God. I had my first one 2 weeks ago. It was absolutely amazing. I was able to connect with a lot of women there that know me, and I know them. I may have used to do their hair. I probably haven't seen them in a while, but I really, really love connecting with my girls. I am in and out of town. I'm super busy, so I don't have time to really see everyone. And let's face it, I don't want to be on Instagram seeing the people that I love and care for. I want to see them in person. So I am doing another Catch a Vibe. I do it every other Thursday at the salon. If you guys are in town, if you're listening, come by, come get a glass of wine, come laugh, come talk some shit, come buy some femininity, come buy some rag dolls. Just come through and have a good time. Catch a Vibe is just so amazing. You ladies are going to love it. Well, anyway, thank you so much for being here for another podcast of Femininity by Rachel V. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you guys soon.